The reason, I think the magic thing is that there's like this friction right here. The last 5 yards going into finishing something, of getting it working out, to getting it pushed across the goal line, that the world is designed to stop you from doing it. It is set up in such a way that it's preventing you from pushing it across the finish line. And so when I was writing the chapter on the ghosts of your past self, the reason why this is so vital for all of us who have too many opportunities is that if you look back on the times where you were most effective and most powerful and had the biggest leaps in your life, you probably were stripped down to where you only had one or two things, one thing that you were all in.
Welcome to the Ed O'Keefe Show. Transform your mind, accelerate your business, energize your body, and inspire the world. Now here is your host, Ed O'Keefe.
Hello, it's Ed O'Keefe, and welcome to another episode of the Ed O'Keefe Show. Today I have something kind of cool, kind of special for you. It's behind the scenes at my a recent Time Collapsing Academy one-day event that we put on. The topic is why entrepreneurs feel like they suck. And I would say this is also true for anyone who is seeking high performance or trying to achieve goals, trying to be a good parent, trying to be a good coach, trying to be a good athlete. This story is kind of a cool one. I've never really heard anyone talk about it before, but I dove into this topic because one day while writing, this idea came to me from personal experience, and not like depressing, like suck, like not like you feel like you're a total loser, but there's just, it's that I don't know if Stephen Pressfield would call this another form of resistance, which would allow some people to revert back and move away from their goals. So that's it. I hope you enjoy this quick little episode, and let me know what you think. All right, have an awesome day.
Let me ask a question. How many of you feel like you suck at least once a day or like once every other day? Like, just share your hands. All right, now freeze. All right, you might use a different word than like I suck. You might feel like inadequate. You put your hands down. 80% of you put your hands up, right? So I had this like breakthrough one day when I was like, it was like on a Sunday. I forget what I was doing. I text messaged 5 of my friends right away. I'm like all high level guys, like high level athletes, entrepreneurs. I'm like, hey, question. How often do you feel like you suck? And 4 of the 5 were like, every day. I was like, wow, that's kind of a pattern. And then Ed Clay says to me, well, I don't feel like I suck, but I feel like, I don't know, you said, I know you're going through your leadership training, so you're a little bit higher level than all of us, but you said something different. You relanguaged it to be, you remember when I sent you this? I said, how often do you feel like you suck? And you were like, I don't really feel like I suck, but there's times where I feel like I'm just not where I want to be yet. Something like that. You relanguaged it, which was very, very articulate of you, right? So most of you say, well, yeah, I feel like I suck, which is another way of saying I feel inadequate at times. Okay? How many of you feel like you're overwhelmed, frustrated, or confused on a consistent basis at any level? Okay, mostly everyone here, right? So we're a pretty processed, normal group that these are, I would say these things right here are high achiever modalities. They're not stuff that like if I said to my couple of my brothers or sister, like, how often do you feel like you sucked? She'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm perfect. Okay, sorry, I'll ask your husband. All right. Okay, so with this kind of awareness, right, this is where like the freedom process really works. this is where you can really apply, like, wouldn't it be great? And you give yourself permission to be like, all right, I don't need to feel this way. I could actually transform this into something unique and powerful and different. Secondly, here's the next thing. So then give me like 3 positives that you feel on a deal. What's that? Joy, awesome. Nice high energy. What else? Gratitude, awesome. All right, go ahead, just yell them out. Excited, excitement, I love it. All right. Okay, what else you got? Anything else? Relief. You feel good? When do you feel a relief, Sean? That's good. Yeah, just
getting stuff done that needs to get done. I set micro goals every day.
yeah.
So when I achieve one of those micro goals, it's good. Now what's next?
Yep. Cool. So anything else you want to put up here, guys? I feel inspired. I mean, I feel inspired daily. I've been doing something really crazy lately. You know, after I work out, I've been going to the cemetery and parking under a tree. Like under a shaded tree, I can hear the birds, turn everything off. And that's where I'm getting like a lot of my best writing done. I think it's kind of cool to be around a bunch of dead people. I really do. I think there's something magical there, but I'm like digging that. Like I feel like, okay, cool, no one get a hold of me. Everything's unplugged. Yeah. What's that? Well, you know, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. How do you feel inspired, you know?
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
School is something serious.
I think you're, yeah. What else? What else is up here?
I have determined.
Determined? You feel determined? Awesome. Cool.
What the emotion is when you feel like, what's the emotion you feel like when you see your like offspring or somebody you've helped, and your satisfaction is probably the word I was thinking about. When
Proud?
you're seeing something done, the fruits of your labor, proud,
Yeah.
satisfaction, those are some emotions. You know, maybe I'm getting old.
Cool. Cool. Now, here's the thing. How many of you have more than one project you're working on right now? Just out of curiosity. Okay, cool. Look around, 90% of the room, raise their hands. Great. So one thing I want you to do is step back, look at this is not a group exercise. This is you. I'm not doing anything, right? Step back. When you look at your paper, you're like, here's all my emotional states. Now, if I took my 3 projects or whatever projects, and I lay them out like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you say like, hey, and you list them out, like just bam, 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 bam. You can just use initials, doesn't matter, right? So for example, like you may have one company, right? And then you look at like, okay, yeah, but we're growing, we're doing all these traffic channels. Let's say each traffic channel is a different project, right? Because it kind of is. And my next thing let's just even put in here, none of you guys said anger. I don't use the word anger, it doesn't really resonate with me. But I've seen some of you on the break trying to get in line for your food, and there's some anger issues going on here. Anyhow, no, but like there's probably annoyed, there's probably more like things that will pop up when I rephrase this question. If you put these questions and you started tying like, hey, this project really is all high energy, and this lower end project is bringing me here. If money, time, resources, previous obligation was not an issue, what would you eliminate off the list right now in order to feel better on a daily basis? You got 3 minutes by yourself. Anna, you can start the music. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I'll rephrase it because this is a removal quick exercise. It's a quick hit, which is if you started looking at which ones bring high energy and which brings low energy, and if money, time, resources, previous obligation were not an issue, and you were able to disconnect from all of it, and money didn't matter, previous obligation didn't matter, like bad clients, like you previously obligated to them, I committed to this thing, but you know what, man? I might have to renegotiate with my commitments and have an honest conversation with it. What would you dump right now if none of those factors, you're not going to announce it publicly, so this is between you and yourself. What would you dump right now if you could? You got 70 seconds. Jazz music to like you're dumping it? Yeah, that's pretty good. Good answer. 30 seconds. Fifteen seconds, wrapping up. So one thing we did in our last meeting with my mastermind, I did this whole presentation on removing the friction, okay? And the thing that I found is that high-performing people, athletes, entrepreneurs, just people in general that are trying to function at a high level, usually, so let me just test the world, or the room. How many of you would like to perform better and have a greater life with greater emotional states and greater contribution, right? Great. How many of you would like more stuff to do on your list? Right? Right. So you're not looking for, you came in the room probably thinking we were going to have a list of things to do, but the fact of the matter is you're actually, because that's what your whole system wants more, like just to be told. Like I want gluten-free stuff in my kitchen from my au pair, who then cooks it, right? But I don't want the list of all the things to do to meal prep on Sunday night. Actually I want the list, because if they don't show up at my door and put it in there, then I need to hire a chef to do it for me because that's what I want. And but anyhow, so the thing is that we want what? We want distinctions that are going to give us what I call trim tab effects, which means we leave like the East Coast, two ships go off on the same distance, they start moving here, here's A, here's B, yet this guy turns his degree by 3%. The first 2 miles, they look like they're side by side, but this guy will finish completely different locations. We're looking for distinctions, right? And what I have found is that when I work with high-level athletes or talk to them, they aren't looking for advice or more. They're looking for less. And then by removing stuff, they naturally go faster. Like Elon Musk was just saying in an interview, he's like, well, the way that what's the thing that goes into outer space? is designed, traditionally, he said there's just so many non-important parts to it. Whereas like it could be designed so much more efficiently. Like, and you think about like our lives, we want to remove things to then fill it back up, right? Rather than just remove these pieces so you can move faster and be more efficiently, be lighter, right? Greg Herline, where did Vinny go? Greg Herline did something really amazing at the last meeting we had. Is he's like, my daughters are 13, 14, and like 10. He's like, I've done the math. They only have this many years in my household with me until they go off and do their own thing. And that reframed his whole thought process of how he's now going to behave over the next so many years, right? recent guy comes to me and says, hey, oh, he's complaining. One of my gym owner that we talk, he's complaining because he's got a girl who runs his boot camp who's totally inefficient. She sucks. And she didn't like that she ran this most ridiculous boot camp. It was like 100 push-ups, 100 box jumps. It was like the most, this is for like the average like woman who wants to come in for a workout. I'm like, yeah, that really, how did that go? How did that class go? Like, oh, my wife came home complaining. I'm like, yeah. And so I said, well, she needs to be told that was a messed up workout. Like, she needs to chunk it down and do sets of 10 and let them rework it and whatever. Like, but she got all offended about it. And I said, well, John, fire her. Like, you know, there's one person in my life that I have to say I'm sorry to, even though I know I'm right. That's my wife. Everybody else, you know, if you're, you know, like, they don't need to be. So, like, relationship frictions are the things that you can offload if they're slowing you down, okay? Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about with friction, and then we're going to skip to the next thing, is that, let's say this is 100 yards. Here's 0. How many of you think this is easy? You got an idea? You go from 0 to 30 yards. Spend a lot of time right here. And then we go to the next idea. And then we go to the next idea. And the reason, I think the magic thing is that there's like this friction right here. The last 5 yards going into finishing something, of getting it working out, to getting it pushed across the goal line, that the world is designed to stop you from doing it. It is set up in such a way that it's preventing you from pushing it across the finish line. And so when I was writing the chapter on the ghosts of your past self, the reason why this is so vital for all of us who have too many opportunities is that if you look back on the times where you were most effective and most powerful and had the biggest leaps in your life, you probably were stripped down to where you only had one or two things, one thing that you were all in.
This episode is sponsored by Marine D3. If you want 24-hour antioxidant protection while giving your brain, eyes, heart, and overall energy a jolt of long-lasting nourishment, then Marine D3 is for you. This is my #1 top-selling health product that I've sold over 500,000 bottles, and right now, 80% of our sales come from repeat customers. Marine D3 can flood your cells with an abundance of new antioxidants and nutrients that fights and repairs damage done to the cells during exercise, everyday living, and the natural breakdown that occurs as we age. After 15 years of research and over $39 million spent on clinical studies, a renowned biochemist has found one of the world's greatest antioxidants. It's called CNLP, hiding deep below the ocean surface. I took CNLP, combined it with a little-known omega-3 called calamine, as well as vitamin D3, so that you can get maximum benefit all in one supplement. I'd like to give you the first bottle absolutely free. I just ask that you pay shipping and handling. At edokeefeshow.com/free bottle, I'll have a mini presentation that will share more about the supplement and why people are raving about it. Most importantly, it'll show you exactly how you can get it shipped out to you today, just for shipping and handling. This episode is brought to you by Dormant Forces Insider. If you would like monthly big business breakthroughs, insider marketing strategies that actually work, and mindset secrets of multimillionaires sent directly to your door so you can have it in your hands and you can apply them, then this is for you. Now, you can test drive my Dormant Forces Insider Silver membership for just 1 month free. If you love it, we know you'll stay with it and let it keep you in the loop of what's working inside my businesses and the other dozens and dozens of businesses that I mentor. Why would you go at it all on your own when you can use other people's experience, then just replicate what works? Anyhow, right now you can test drive the membership for just $1, plus a few bucks shipping and handling,
by going to edokeefeshow.com/dormant forces. That's edokeefeshow.com/dormant forces.
And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the podcast. You can find the show notes for this episode as well as all the other podcast episodes by heading on over to edokeefeshow.com. If you would, please go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and leave a rating and review. Rating and reviews truly are the best way for you to show your appreciation for the show because they help more people find out about the podcast and decide if this is the one for them. So until next week, it's time for you to go out there, take action, and inspire the world.